We open on a view of the ocean. Endless horizon spreads out across a turquoise ocean, unbroken by the appearance of any island or continent. The air smells of salt, and you hear the sound of seagulls and waves crashing against the sea. In the distance, you see something. A line sticking out of the blue. As you get closer, you see it as a tower. A massive tower, 1 mile across and several miles high, built of thick gray stone carved with runes. Dotted around the tower are large gaps, holes in which light can enter the tower, illuminating the small town within. Outside the tower is a collection of wooden docks, floating in the waves. 300 years ago, the Great Flood destroyed this world. To save the mortal races from the torrent, the gods created the towers, massive stone buildings reaching to the heavens. The world outside the towers is dangerous, filled with pirates and monsters. This world is filled with darkness. What it needs is heroes. That is how I began a year-long 40-session epic homebrew campaign in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. This campaign, the same one as the 10 Perfect Words video, is my favorite campaign I've been a part of. It took place in a deep world with difficult moral choices and elegantly acted, complex player characters. This video is not about the deep part of that campaign. This video is about the player characters in that campaign, a group of adventurers who sailed around in a small boat they called the Wretched Wench. More specifically, this video is about how I based a massive chunk of the campaign's plot on an internet meme. Cut to the docks outside one of the towers. Gardenia Tower, to be precise. Home of a small farming village on the western edge of the Ire Sea. Standing on the docks, waiting for a ferry, we see 5 adventurers. Bounty hunters Ren and Ripley Matarasi, sorcerer and sailor Elbin Bootwater, wily rogues Sean Stryker, and the main protagonists of this video, one Catherine Kit Maplecrest. Kit was a rogue/monk traveling in search of treasure. She was a far traveler from a noble family, dressed in far nicer clothes than the rest of the party. Her starting dagger, it was decided, had a golden hilt covered in jewels. So this group of strangers is standing on the docks. Elbin the Storm Sorcerer can sense that there was a storm recently. Staring off at the ocean, they see why the ferry is late. Pieces of driftwood, the remains of a destroyed ship, float by. Clutching one board is an unconscious elven man. The Matarasi swim out and drag the man back to the docks. As the party tries to shake him awake, a group of pirates approaches the tower in rowboats, hunting for the unconscious man. The group stands together for the first time to fight off the pirates. As Kit Maplecourt begins her first turn of the campaign, she throws one of the daggers at one of the pirates and rolls a 3 or something like that. The knife flies over the pirate's head into the ocean and disappears below the waves. Quickly, she shouts, "My knife! That thing is worth 100 gold! Quickly, ignore the pirates and the dying man and go get my knife back!" Ripley, the Water Genasi Paladin, springs into action, diving after the knife. And the water is cold. Horribly, horribly cold. It is so dark, she can't see more than a few feet away. But she can see the dagger. She can see her arm reaching out for it. She reaches out, and then the knife sinks away, and it is gone. So anyway, the party kills the pirates, the first of many times they will do so, and searches the unconscious man's belongings. He's carrying a small circular medallion, a golden rod, and a diary that says something. Parts of it are burned and unreadable, but I'm sure nothing in it was important. Through some problem solving, the party realizes that there is a large fountain in the middle of the tower, and that within the tower there is a small indent to place the medallion. When the medallion is placed, the fountain slides away, revealing a spiral staircase leading deep within the tower. There, they find a dungeon. The party descends, after first spending an hour getting drunk and playing strip poker. Hey, cool thing I did in this campaign that you should steal? In the opening room of each tower dungeon, I placed a series of 4 murals that provided clues towards the dungeon puzzles. The first dungeon featured a mural showing a massive battle between knights on horseback and a giant monster, foreshadowing that the first room was a chessboard where you needed to move like a knight. One wall showed chains and a lock at the bottom of the ocean, foreshadowing that there was a series of mirrors chained under a swimming pool. One showed rays of light coming from the sky, foreshadowing that there was a laser puzzle, and one showed a ball of fire underwater, creating steam as it is smothered, foreshadowing that the party needed to create steam to reveal a hidden keyhole. I featured murals like this in every single dungeon. The party completes a series of puzzles and opens a door to the boss room. As they enter, a glowing winged snake emerges from the floor and wraps its tail around Ren Madarasi. Ren fails a wisdom saving throw and sees a vision of cities burning to the ground. Ren slashes at the snake with his short sword and the snake recoils. It transforms into smoke and shapeshifts into a large, two-headed ogre that the party easily defeats. A door opens, revealing a room containing a large brazier. Like a fire pit. Not underwear. Okay, the boss wasn't guarding lingerie! Albin double-checks the burnt notebook and realizes he needs to cut his palm and spill his blood in the brazier. As the blood lands, a massive red fire erupts into existence. The party, realizing the golden rod is a torch, stick it in the fire. They carry the fire to the top of the tower, where they find another brazier. Naturally, they light it. Unconscious elf druid guy shows up and jumps into the fire, telling the party to follow him. They do as asked and find themselves in a different tower, in a room full of unlit braziers. Druid guy, I don't remember his name. I mean, I could double check my notes, but it's funnier if I just call him Druid guy. Druid guy explains the plot of the campaign. His father created a torch that can be used to open portals between the towers, meaning people can travel freely without worrying about pirates. He had already lit a few towers and asked the party to light the rest of them. They agreed, and he dubbed them Torchbearers. Then he dropped dead. I mean, he didn't. He stuck around for a good 35 more sessions. But if I was smart, I would have had him drop dead then, because he never did anything important again. DM tip, don't have a pointless NPC stand around for the entire campaign, not saying anything. I know this character died eventually, but I do not remember how. Anyway, that's the basic gameplay loop of the campaign. The party goes to a tower, gets a medallion from people who live there, handles a dungeon, rinse and repeat, occasionally dealing with pirates who are sad because their wife is dead. Wah! For the party's second mission, they sailed off to Flavorn Tower, an isolated community in the northeast. Some history rolls revealed that this tower is ruled by the Cult of Flames, a fringe religious group who worships a god of fire and performs ritual sacrifices to satisfy him. Sounds like a fun place to visit. I'm sure nothing bad will happen there. As the party enters, a religious service is happening in the center of the tower. A group of cultists in dark robes, half of them with faces covered in clown makeup, watch as the local bishop performs a ritual. The bishop is a large man wearing black robes covered in fire. He has a goatee and wears black glasses that hide his eyes. His hair is bleached blonde with frosted tips. His name was Guy Fiery. And for one arc, the campaign ceased to be Dungeons and Dragons. It instead became Dungeons and Diners and Dragons and Dine-ins and Dives. Quickly, Guy Fiery prepares his sacrifice, a foot-long sandwich covered in hot sauce. He throws it in the large fire, giving a satisfying meal to the God of Flames. What, you thought the sacrifice would be a person? Guy Fiery's not a monster! So, dumb excuse plot for the story arc. Flavorn Tower, commonly called Flavortown by the locals, holds yearly cooking contests to determine who should be in charge. This competition just so happened to be the next day. Because the town leader has the dungeon medallion, the party teamed up with a local chef. Let's call him Alton because that's better than generic fantasy name generator name number 203. The party helps Alton by hunting down a rare fish and stealing some expensive barbecue sauce from Guy Fiery. Their preparations complete, the party goes to bed. And by go to bed, I mean they went carousing. Carousing! Woo! Carousing is fun. You roll a D100 to see what type of wacky situation you end up in. For instance, one time, Kit woke up sitting on a throne, wearing a crown, with a trio of kobold children worshipping her. Apparently, while drunk, she taught them how to steal, they got rich, and now they considered her to be the second coming. Kit named them Tricky, Dicky, and Archibald, and periodically went back to visit them. You know, to do adoptive parent things, and also to get her cut. Anyway, this time when the party went drinking, Kit woke up in a dark room surrounded by demonic summoning circles and the melted remains of black candles. Sitting before her was her dark reward, one which she made a dangerous sacrifice for. A really fantastic looking sandwich. Side note, that last one came from a carousing table made by Reddit user Velociraptor, link in the description. I do not remember where I found the kobold one. Cut to the next morning. The cooking contest is about to begin. Main antagonist Guy Fieri and forgettable temporary ally Alton Brown are standing there, sharpening their knives, when a new challenger walks up to the podium, ready to fight for ownership of Flavorn Tower. Kit Maplecourt, still hungover, ready to cook. The party, minus Kit, help Alton out, but their rolls are low. Alton doesn't beat Guy Fieri. Then, at the last minute, when all hope looks lost, Kit walks over to the judge's table with her meal. A really nice sandwich that she definitely cooked. The sandwich is so good that she is declared Flavor Master, ruler of the tower. Guy Fieri is less than thrilled about losing. He insists that he cooked the sandwich, that this is all just a setup. But fortunately, Kit rolls great on her deception checks. Angered, Guy Fieri rage quits and runs down into the tower basement. The party chases him through the dungeon, taking care to look at the murals shown on screen now. When they reach the brazier room, they engage in a battle against the warlock Guy Fieri. As Fieri is defeated, he throws himself into the already lit brazier. "Cowabunga," he whispers as his body burns. "My bodacious body will be a worthy sacrifice to my main man Prometheus. Broskies." And then Guy Fieri died. And then the party did a bunch of depressing stuff involving Quincy Mortimer. And then the campaign went on and on as Kit and her crew went on adventure after adventure. To be continued.